what do you do, and why this commitment, this passion of you with your work?
I have no job. I am a different kind of person. I was educated in some religious seminary, and also I learned English, and I educated all those other subjects after completing my education in madrasa, that is seminary. So I discovered, for some time I was an agnostic person. Agnostic. I lose I'm not that kind of religious person. So after long study, I rediscovered my faith. Although I was born in a Muslim family, and also I was educated in some Arabic madrasa, but I felt that my nature is somewhat different. I wanted to know directly what is truth. Then after long study, I discovered that what I am seeking, that is Quran. In the Quran, I found the answers of my seeking. So basically, I was a seeker person. Seeker. I started my life as a seeker. Then I discovered Quran as the truth. So now I am president of CPS and Islamic Center, and there are many persons who are with me in this mission. So we try to make people believe that peace is the summum bonum, and God-oriented life is must for you, because God is our creator. God is our creator. So we have to make God our sole concern. So at one aspect, my mission is God-oriented mission. And the other aspect, my mission is based on spirituality and peace. This is the brief description of my present situation.
So by seeking, you find eventually, and as you said, you found some truth. What has been for you the most important truth that you found about the reality of this life?
That was Tawheed. Tawheed means oneness of God. So God is my discovery. God is not only, for me, God is not simply a traditional belief. God is my discovery. So I discovered that God is the creator, God is the sustainer, God is the Lord of the universe. So we have to make God our sole concern. This was my discovery. And God has revealed His word in the form of Quran. So Quran is the book of reference. If I want to know what is God's scheme, what is God's creation plan, so I can know all these things in the Quran. So I discovered Quran as a book of reference in my life. Then I started this mission, and I published several hundred books in different languages. Also, I published magazine. All my books are you can find it on website, internet. So we have a team, and this team is active everywhere in the world, not only in Delhi, in everywhere in the world.
What do you think is the biggest misconception about understanding God?
Misconception.
Yes, a lot of people sometimes have the wrong idea of what God is. What do you think it expresses? What is the most important thing to realize about God? And what do you think is the relation between finally having peace in the world and everybody embracing God? Is there a relation between accepting God and therefore being in peace with each other?
According to my experience, the greatest source of misconception is that people fail to differentiate between between uh, between. I'm saying about the Islam. So about the Islam, the basic source of misconception is that people fail to differentiate between Muslims and Islam. Islam is based on its scripture. Islam is an ideology, and Muslims are a group of people. They are not the representative of Islam. The representative of Islam is its scripture. If you want to know what is Islam, you have to see the Quran. But for example, in our present time, Muslims started fighting. They declared that this and that is our enemy, so we have to fight with these enemies. This is completely against the Islamic spirit. Because in the Islam differentiates between enemy and attacker. If there is attack, then you can go to war as a defense. But if there are some enemy, you have no reason to go to fight to these enemies. There is a very clear verse in the Quran: do good deed in return for bad deed. Then you will find that your enemy has become your dearest friend. So if there is some enemy, you have to enter into discussion, dialogue, and other peaceful means. You are not allowed to go to fighting against enemy. In Islam, war is specifically only for those who attack on your country, and then only state has the right to go to war, not the people. So at present, all those activities that are people are engaged in the name of jihad, that is not jihad, because no state is involved. Everywhere in Kashmir, in Palestine, everywhere in the world, NGOs are involved in these violent activities, not the state. So it is un-Islamic completely.
Do you think that today, to solve that problem of peace, we need to find a way to re-establish a better justice between human beings and a notion of spreading more our resources and put more in common our richness instead of keeping it for ourselves, like some countries do? Especially, the Western world for many years has been a little bit arrogant and greedy and leading some wars that are based on economy and not on faith, obviously. So do you think we need some sense of new leadership to have an air of justice and of putting in common all our resources?
If there is injustice, there is a problem. But injustice not an excuse to go to war. No. According to my study, Quran does not allow to go to war simply to establish justice. No. If you want justice, you have to struggle peacefully. Peacefully. War is allowed only in the when there is attack. Otherwise, you have to be stick to peaceful struggle. This is my study. According to my study, this is the position of Islam. All those complaints against West is unfounded. I don't believe about these complaints. I think that Western people are not our enemy. They are human beings. If there are some complaint, so you have to go to dialogue. Why fighting? Why hate? So hate is not in the scheme of Islam. I am quite against all those kind of hate and violence and intolerance. For example, you know, there was in Denmark there was in some paper there was a cartoon. So everywhere there was hue and cry. All these things were un-Islamic. If some paper publishes a cartoon that is that you dislike, so you have to correspond. You have to publish articles. You have to go to dialogue. Why violence? So all these violent activities are quite un-Islamic.
What do you think we need to do to get to the next level of a more sustainable peace between us?
Pardon?
What do you think we need to do to get to the next level of a more sustainable peace between all of us? Do you think we need new leadership? Is it personal awakening, a combination of both? How do we get to a more peaceful environment?
And I'm saying, what do we need to reach to the next level of sustainable peace? Do you think that we need new leadership, or what is your opinion?
Fine. If you want to establish peace, first of all, you have to be patient. Patience is the first step. Without patient struggle, you cannot establish peace. And my formula, according to the Quran, is that you have to avoid the problem and you have to avail the opportunities. By availing opportunities, you can establish peace, not by fighting. Those people who are fighting in the name of peace, they are wrong. Peace is the price of patience. And by patience, I mean that if there is some problem, you have to avoid that problem. And you have to avail those opportunities. Because according to Islam, according to the Quran, every time there are numerous opportunities. In the Maul Usra Isra. It means that when there are problems, there are opportunities. So the simple formula is that avoid the problem but avail the opportunities. So by availing opportunities, you can establish peace. And when there is peace, there are so many more opportunities. So I don't believe that fighting is a way to establish justice. No. By fighting, you cannot establish justice. You have to avoid all those problems. In every country where Muslims are fighting, There are so many opportunities, but they are ignoring all these opportunities, and they are engaged in fighting. So this is not the Islamic way of working.
What?
I have to change dates, or
Okay.
just a second.
2 times. So I asked to those people who are engaged in fighting, why you are fighting? They said, we want justice. Give us justice and we will give you peace. This was their simple formula. Give us justice and we will give you peace. I said that this is not Islamic formula. No, not at all. I said that justice is outcome of your own struggle. Justice is not an outcome of peace. Peace gives you opportunity. So first of all, you have to establish peace, then you have to avail the opportunities. And by availing those opportunities, you can find justice. So this formula, they call it As-salam mal adl, or peace with justice. This is not wrong formula, not right formula. I said that you have to follow the Islamic principle. According to Islam, it's very clear in the Quran that justice is outcome of your own struggle. So, first of all, you have to avoid all those problems to establish peace. And when there is peace, there are opportunities. So, avail these opportunities and then you will find justice. So was the case of the Prophet of Islam. When the Prophet of Islam was in Mecca, he faced so many hostilities, they became hostile. They wanted to kill the Prophet of Islam. So he migrated and he settled in Medina. But there was some attack from the Meccan side. So he wanted to establish peace. He started negotiation. So they insisted that Prophet must accept their conditions. Prophet was accept their conditions. So he established peace by accepting their conditions. It is called Hudaybiyah. Hudaybiyah was an agreement of peace, and this peace was obtained by accepting all those conditions of the other party. So Prophet said that if there is peace, there are opportunities. So first of all, we have to establish peace at any cost. Then we will avail the opportunities. This was the strategy of the Prophet of Islam. So I said that you have to live with Jew peacefully. Why not? At present, there are so many opportunities in Israel. Israel is a country of opportunities, even for Arabs. So I said that you have to stop fighting and you have to establish peace, and then you have to avail those opportunities. This is the right way to find your justice. This is my formula according to the Islamic teachings.
By listening to you, I come to a realization that to have peace, we need to make peace first, and then we can talk about it.
This is
Meaning
my
we need to surrender, and then we can talk about it. Is it one of these points where basically we need to act first and make peace, and then we can figure out things together and make justice together?
It is not surrender. It is sabr. Sabr means patience. It is not surrender. You have to keep patience in every aspect of life. even in a family, in society. The peace is must every time. So it is not a surrender. It is to keep patience so that you may be able to avail those opportunities. Without patience, you cannot avail those opportunities. So it is not surrender, it is sabr or patience. In other words, you can say that it is a wisdom of life. I call it wisdom rather than surrender.
Is there something else very important that you learn from life beyond patience? Is there something more important?
According to my experience, patience is the summum bonum. Patience is the summum bonum. There is a hadith, the Prophet of Islam has said that in Elaban Nasr Ma Sabr, patience is the key to all success. Patience is the key to success. Without patience, there is no success. I would like to add that patience is not a negative thing. It is completely a positive thing. Why? Because in this world, you are living with other people, their tastes are different, their interest is different. So it is, but there are some unpleasant situation every time. You cannot find normal situation every time. So what to do? The only way to live in this world successfully is by keeping patience. You cannot stop other people to think according to their own. Everybody is free. So how can abolish that freedom? God gave them freedom. Freedom is their right. So we cannot abolish that freedom. So we have to be tolerant. You have to be patient. So patience means wisdom of life. In a world where everybody is free, everybody is trying for his own interest, in such a world, there is no way except patience. Because we cannot abolish their freedom. Everyone is free. So it is the greatest wisdom to keep patience so that you will be able to work peacefully. And as I have earlier said that according to the law of nature, every time there are opportunities, enormous opportunities. Opportunities are integral part of life. No one can abolish those opportunities. So this wisdom of life to avoid the problem and to avail those opportunities. By availing those opportunities, we can gain everything. In every country, not only in USA or Britain, even in Israel, even in Kashmir, there are enormous opportunities. So why you are fighting? Why these fightings? I visited Kashmir. They are fighting against Indian army. I said that why you are fighting? Indian army is your friend. That they are mankind like you. So try to live with them normally. Why you are fighting? Why this hate? I have no hate against anyone. I believe in the Christians saying that love your enemy. So I really love my enemy, if there is any enemy. I don't think that anyone is enemy, but I love all. So love is the greatest power for a man, not fighting. You know, in, yesterday I read an article in the English paper that USA is losing its superiority. Why? Because it spent $5 trillion in Iraq war. So what he gained? I don't think that anyone can gain anything from war. I think that even any victory, every victory is brick victory. In this world, every victory is brick victory. By defeat, you can find more opportunity than by victory. So the greatest wisdom of life is patience and love. Love.
Last question. The reason why I called my movie The Invocation is because in English, the word God comes from an etymology of a verb that means to invoke. And to invoke means to summon, to ask, to call. What would be today your invocation to the planet? What would you like to invoke?
My message is the same which Jesus Christ has said. Love your enemy. Love your enemy means love all, including your enemy. This is my religion. Love your enemy means love all, including your enemy. This is the most beautiful formula of life. Through this kind of love, you can get everything. First of all, you will preserve your positivity. When you hate, then you lose your positivity. And according to my experience, the greatest thing we can achieve in this world is positivity, positive thinking. So at any cost, you have to preserve your positivity. And this is the best formula. Love all, including your enemy. This is the best formula to keep yourself positive in every situation. So according to my opinion, positive thinking is the greatest achievement for anyone in this world. And this can be achieved only through this formula. Love all, including your enemy.
Thank you.